5 young customers finished their dinner and were served dry ice. I repeat, dry ice as mouth fresheners. Dry ice, which is solid carbon dioxide, can be fatal in small spaces and sticks to the mouth, and it left the customer spitting out blood. They had to be rushed to a hospital, and the restaurant says it was an inadvertent mistake by a waiter. The issue, though, raises serious questions. NDTV's Ishika Verma with the details.
Horror at this Gurugram cafe where 5 diners started throwing up blood and reported a burning sensation in their mouths after eating mouth freshener after their meal at the La Foresta cafe on March 2nd. Shockingly, initial investigations have found that they were given dry ice as mouth freshener.
ये देखो हमारी इन्वेस्टिगेशन का मैटर है मैं आपको ये एश्योरेंस दे सकता हूं कि जिसकी लापरवाही रही होगी उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई की जाएगी
After the video went viral, the manager of the restaurant has been arrested and a case has been filed against the restaurant owner and staff.
इनको हम शोकेस नोटिस दे रहे हैं तो हमने फोस्कोस के सर्टिफिकेट्स मांगे हैं हम अब अपने जितने भी रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं गुड़गांव में हम बहुत ही जल्द एक ड्राइव चला रहे हैं कल से ही ड्राइव चला रहे हैं जिसमें सभी रेस्टोरेंट्स का इंस्पेक्शन और सैंपलिंग की जाएगी
So far, officials have been unable to establish the exact sequence of events that led to the restaurant server offering dry ice to customers instead of regular mouth freshener.
Now certainly now all the eyes remain as to what action will be taken further in this case so that it sets a lesson for all the other restaurants to follow. Now this is Ishika Verma with camera person Kanan Patra reporting for NDTV.
Well, this is a one-off incident. It does raise a scare. And joining us this evening, food safety expert Dr. Anand Sharma, President of the Consumer Confederation of India. Also with us, food writer Anindya Sundar Basu. My first question to you, Dr. Sharma, while this is a one-off case, it does leave a scare behind that this could happen at a restaurant.
It may be anywhere. It's a duty of the seller as per the Article 27 second of the Food Safety and Standard Act that the seller is liable under for any article of food which is handled or kept in unhygienical conditions. And for this, the food authority and the state food safety authority is responsible for the enforcement of this act. So it is a deadly negligence and maybe happen anywhere if the restaurant or other food seller is not doing work as per the provisions of the Food Safety Act.
Right, important point that you make there from a legal point of view. Anindya, well, obviously it's a huge scare, right? When you hear of something of this nature, while this may have been an extreme case, it's often the question that comes to your mind is, what are you being served?
Veer, hi. The only question also comes to my mind is that this is not a one-off case. If we flip back the pages of history, in 2017, onto the same incident like that, Gurugram had banned the sale of and use of liquid nitrogen because one guest had burned a hole in his stomach, right? So again, this has happened. Do we really learn our lessons from the past? That is the first question. The three authorities, if we speak about FDA, if we speak about FSSAI and CDC, clearly states that liquid nitrogen or dry ice should be dealt very carefully. Under no circumstance they should be had inside. So, who is the custodian? How it is getting handled by the business owners? How it is getting used? These are the questions which will need more deep dive analysis rather than, as some of the authorities said, running a drive and checking out. What would they check? Will they be present at the moment when these are getting used in the kitchen? My question to the authorities and everyone is this, that time and again, an eye-opener like this keeps on happening, yet after a point of time, we go back to normalcy.
You are making a very important point. We often don't take these lessons seriously and we just say chalta hai at the end of the day. But Ananya, tell us in terms of larger issues. I mean, we're not just talking of dry ice here in terms of sweet shops, in terms of those using food safety, food standards. Do you believe that we've actually made any kind of progress, or has the entire consumer boom in terms of the business only brought down the standards?
The question of the progress comes in only when if we have something which is constant, if we have the regulations, if we have the vigilance, if we have the audits which is constant, and that will help everyone to remain on the toes. Unfortunately, for a country like us, the ruling, the authorities who are in charge of that, and the number of people manning it vis-a-vis the number of outlets we have is largely skewed. So till now, there isn't a device which gives us a foolproof plan or a foolproof way of handling these safety standards across different measures, not only the liquid ice or the dry ice or liquid nitrogen, or other safety standards also. Yes, the awareness is high. Slowly and slowly, multiple plans of reinforcing
Okay.
the statements is making customers aware. But how far it is getting implemented on a regular basis, that one fine day or one fine morning you would not be a victim of that, no one can guarantee that.
Dr. Anand Sharma, given your vast experience in such issues, do you really believe that henceforth a mistake of this nature won't happen? Obviously, dry ice was a little extreme. I wonder how it actually was served to the consumers. But mistakes of this nature, do you believe that there would be some kind of systemic response?
As I think, and my experience is showing that there is a provisions in the law, but the implementation of the law is very poor, and the consumer is exploited everywhere and facing such problem with also the adulterated foods, and unsafe foods are sold everywhere in the restaurants and in the shops and the street shops. Presently, it is the duty of the food authority and the state food authority to maintain and verify that the relevant requirement of the law fulfilled by food business operators at all stage of food business. But I think in present position, the situation is not good, and everywhere the consumer is facing exploitation and unhealthy,
Right.
unsafe conditions.
Right, the consumer taken for a ride everywhere. You say thanks very much to the two of you for joining us. Our thoughts, of course, with those people who had to suffer that dry ice in their mouths. We'll keep a close track of all these stories. That's all we have time for on the Southern View this evening. The news continues here on NDTV. Thanks for watching.